3, 2, 1.
Father died in the war. Was it all for? He tried his best to be like the mountain, like the sea. As the markets crashed, we burned every bridge in our path. But I got you and you got me. There's nowhere I'd rather be. And oh, my. Check back in a year and I'll tell you where I'm at. Oh, my. The sky lit up and made it go away. Been hung up more times than I care to say. This is a game I don't need to play. This is a game I don't need to play.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Right.
I'm gonna unlock it now.
How's the other?
Are we doing the same song or a different song?
New song.
New song?
Searching for a clue, searching for you. I wonder where you've been. Invitation in. I swore I saw you across the way. I tried to reach you, but you ran away. You're always on the run, no use hoping for sun. I'll keep waiting for the wind, that invitation in. I never made you for a runaway. Maybe you'll come back another day. Nothing in this world will ever stay. Only question since you ran away. That invitation in. That invitation in. This town I've been living in been treating me well. With the hours I've been keeping, you couldn't tell. Searching for a clue, searching for you. I never made you for a runaway. Maybe you'll come back another day. Nothing in this world will ever stay. Only question since you went away. That invitation in. That invitation in.
last one? Not very hard. I don't, yeah, sure, I don't know how this looks, but... Alright. We're good?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Andre Papanikolaou talking about my new record, Strange Nights, with Into the Vibe, and my man Guillaume over here. What? That's what it's all about. Check it out.
Cut. Andre, thanks a lot.
We're here.
Hey, here we are.
Romantic on your red couch.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. How you feeling?
I'm feeling sexy.
Good.
Feeling loose.
Lucid.
Not so lucid, but loose. Yeah, let me take my glasses off here so I can be a little bit more like a librarian.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be back. A lot of memories. It's changed a lot, and in a lot of ways, it's still the same. You know?
So, parking's so hard.
Yeah, exactly. How was the launch yesterday?
It was great. It was packed. A lot of friends, family came out. Performance went well. Brad Barr joined us on stage, played a few songs with us, which is great. And it's great, man. It was a late night, early morning.
The album's called
Strange
Nights.
Yeah.
Why was that about?
I was in a strange place when I wrote the songs. I had just had a kid, and so everything got flipped upside down. I couldn't work the way that I used to work, which was during the day when everyone was out of the house. I have a studio at home, so that's when I would record and write. And so I had to relearn everything. I had to relearn how to live my life. I had to relearn how to write. I never really believed that you need to be like depressed or anything to write songs. You know, there's that myth. But I think you do need to have some kind of like a struggle, you know. And you know, when you have a kid, it's a great thing, and you're happy. And so I was trying to figure out what I'd be able to write about, and so the idea of everything getting flipped upside down was something that really appealed to me. And the nights did get really strange. I mean, you don't sleep, you start having weird ways of, you know, your brain doesn't work the same way at night. And so since I was doing all my writing at night, a lot of the songs started going into the same direction thematically. And so a lot of it is the kind of, you know, outside of the benevolent observer, you know, just kind of being taken out of your element and, you know, seeing what's going on. And so yeah, I mean, it's a title of a song that I wrote for the record, and I like that song, and I like what it represented in terms of the images of the lyrics, and I figured Strange Nights was a good direction to go, and it's a title that kind of encapsulates pretty much what the album's about.
Cool. Brad Barr, producer.
I produced my first record on my own, and I had finished producing another record for another artist last year, and I was like drained at that point. Like it's a lot of work to produce a record, and I just didn't want to have to make any decisions. And Brad was a friend that I'd run into often, and I always meant to work with him in some capacity because I have a tremendous amount of respect for the guy, and he's great. And so I just called him up and I said, listen, I'm doing this record. I'd really love you to get on board and help me out. And he was great. He accepted. Thankfully, he had just enough time because he was in the middle of doing the Barr Brothers record. And so we found a time that worked for everyone. And yeah, he took off running, man. He helped me out with the lyrics, with the arrangements, and in the studio he plays like 100 instruments, and so it was great. Yeah.
Born and raised in Montreal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Has your music taken you anywhere? Done a little traveling? Or?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, this is a great job if you want to travel to places you never thought you'd go. You know, so I've been all over Canada and Europe, and so it's great. I mean, it's not, you know, you're not sightseeing and you're not on vacation, but you do get to see a lot of nice places and some far out places. Like I never thought I'd go to Nunavut, you know.
Yeah.
But I played in Nunavut, and I've played in Yukon, and I've played in Switzerland, and so a lot of these places that you say, well, maybe one day I'd like to go there, you know. But so you do a lot of fly-in gigs, and it's great. You get to see a lot of places, and especially a lot of places in our own country that are, you know, so big.
Yeah.
That often, you know, a plane ticket is more expensive. It's more expensive to go to Winnipeg than it is to Europe, so you just never go. But I get to go to these places, so it's great.
Concordia alumni, or
Yeah.
What did you study here? But
I was in poli-sci and with a minor in economics, and I was going to go to law school at McGill.
Oh wow, cocky.
Yeah, very cocky. And I think I watched too many LA Law episodes, and then when it hit me what the reality of that life was.
So speaking of law,
Yeah.
have you ever been to prison?
I have not been to prison, but never say never.
Cool. Record industry so far, everyone's saying they're losing money. It's hard
Yeah.
to make music.
Right.
So how are you surviving as a musician these days? Is that-
I'm pretty lucky. I do a lot of different. I wear a lot of different hats. You know, I have my solo career, but I'm also a sideman. I accompany a lot of artists in Quebec, and I play on a lot of people's records, and I tour a lot, and I produce records. So all those things together, they end up, you know, I make a nice living, but I mean, I'm not rich by any, you know, but I mean, I'm not in the street either, you know. So, you know, you got to wear a lot of hats in this business now, especially that you can't. I mean, people don't buy records anymore, and the budgets are getting smaller and smaller, and the government subsidies for the arts are diminishing. So, you know, you gotta get creative and find ways to earn. And so, you know, touring and recording and producing has been my way of earning, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And you gotta work hard. But you know, knock on wood, hopefully it's gonna keep going this way.
Your tale is an inspiration
Yeah.
to all struggling young artists.
There you
out
go.
there.
But there's a lot of stuff coming out now that's really, really fast, like really good. Like,
Oh, like what?
well, the Bar Brothers is, you know,
Yeah.
I can't get enough of that record, and there's this band I think they're out of Philadelphia. They're called The War on Drugs.
Cool.
Really great. They're bringing back these sounds that we thought had died, like chorus, and you know, but they do it in a way that's really tasty and really good. And I've listened to that a lot. So yeah, there's always something around.
Is it in focus?
Getting it in focus as we speak.
Amazing.
C'est bon.
So, speaking of the war on drugs,
Yeah.
what do you think of the war on drugs?
Like the actual war on drugs?
The actual war on drugs.
Just legalize it, man. Just get everything legal. I mean, that's a heavy question, man,
Yeah.
for a little old musician like me.
Yeah, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Pow.
Bang.
Pile driver.
I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, I think I read something yesterday about Colorado having like more money than they know what to do with now ever since they legalized marijuana. I mean, what's a drug? What's not? I don't know. I mean, I don't think people should be like shooting up in the streets, but at the same time, making it illegal is just like another prohibition, giving cartels and gangs just a lot more power. You know, I've known people who do drugs and they're not dangerous people, but you're forced to associate yourself with some shady characters to, you know, I'd much rather see it regulated and sold in a semi-responsible way, I guess. I don't know how responsible the government can be, but I mean, I don't know. I think was it the States that's been waging a war on drugs since the 80s, since the Reagan era, and that hasn't worked. So, you know, they just keep getting heads delivered to the U.S. border by Mexican cartels. So, I mean, that's not, you know, it's not a deterrent. And, you know, people are getting locked up for minor drug infractions in the States and in Canada. You're sending these people in for minor stuff, and they're coming out having gone to, you know, drug university. And that's a question for smarter people than me. But in my humble opinion, even if it was legal, I wouldn't go out and do heroin, you know? So I think most people, you know their limits, you know, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. It wouldn't be a very long walk if we were gonna go outside now and try to score some heavy shit, you know. So that's the fact that it's illegal doesn't make it hard to get. It just makes it that you don't know what you're getting. So
Well
you know,
played.
yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. Little old Windex joint.
Yeah, exactly. Pencil shaving.
Yeah.
Will Smith is older than James Avery was when The Fresh Prince started. How does that make you feel? Uncle Phil? He's older than Uncle Phil now.
I'll tell you something. I met a kid the other day. He's, I guess, 22 years old, and we were talking about music, and he was asking me what I was listening to when I was his age, and I mentioned, oh, you know, Pearl Jam. He looked at me like he'd never heard of Pearl Jam, and I said, well, you know, Pearl Jam, you know, Jeremy, you know. He's like, oh, I don't listen to classic rock. So that's how I feel. Classic rock.
Classic rock.
Yeah.
You're just a classic man. The whole Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know, man. I mean, on one hand, when you're a celebrity, I guess, I don't know, but I'm assuming celebrities must get hounded a lot, you know. But what is it? It's like 19 women now?
Something like that.
You know, I mean, it's hard to think that,
You know, and I don't like this. You get that a lot in the media and some more cynical types of media where the woman always has to prove. It's like, you know, I think we need to give these women the benefit of the doubt. And if it's one woman and she's trying to push a book or something, then you might be saying, okay. But these women don't want anything. They're just coming out and 1, 2, 3, and there's 19. So I think Bill Cosby's been dipping his pudding stick in more than Jello, you know.
Am I right?
Yeah.
There you have it, folks. What do you think of the Grammy nominations this year?
I wish them all the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any artists you'd like to work with that you haven't worked with that you know of out there?
Oh God, there's so many. I mean, where to start? We got some really great artists here in Montreal, some really great bands, and one guy I'd love to work with, who I've met casually on a few occasions, is Daniel Lanois.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ran into him once and had a very brief conversation, and you know, the guy is like, you know, he's like all about music, you know, and that'd be so interesting. But I don't know. I mean, you meet new people every day. I didn't know you yesterday, and I'm glad to know you now. So I don't know. I think I just want someone who comes to the table with like good ideas and like a slightly off-center way of looking at a song. So we'll see where it leads us.
Did you follow movies at all?
Yeah. I saw some good movies this year. I saw The Wolf of Wall Street. Is that this year? Last year?
Last year.
I just had a baby, so I don't go to the movies as much as I used to.
Boy or girl?
A girl.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How's that changed up your vibe?
Man, it's crazy, man. It's like, you know, people say it changes your life. It does, but not in a way. Like, I'm still the same person. I'm just more tired. I'm just a more tired version of the same guy. But it puts things in perspective. You know, there's, you know, I used to, you know, friends would call me up and say, oh, we're going out for a drink. Why don't you come? And you know, I'd be there, or something. If you couldn't make it, you'd feel bad. But now, like, just being at home with my kid is great. You know, it's the best feeling. So I don't know, it changes you, but you still stay who you are. Your priorities are just slightly realigned and shifted. You know.
So you're basically drinking less. Favorite movies of all time?
Man, there's a few movies I could watch nonstop. Not in any particular order, but Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Ghostbusters that's where it's at for me. Any of the 3 Indiana Jones, because the last one doesn't count. And to a certain point, the second one doesn't count, but when you compare it to the 4th,
yeah,
it counts.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we're gonna keep those 3. And the 4th one's like never happened. And
1 and 3 really.
I love the 3rd one with Sean Connery.
God.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, and so any Indiana Jones, and I don't know why, because it's not that great of a movie, but Tremors. Remember Tremors?
Nice.
With Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
If Tremors is on, man, I'm like totally into that. I'm just going to sit down on the couch and watch it till the very end. Anything by, what's his name, who did the Breakfast Club there? John Hughes. Any John Hughes movie, you know, anything like that is great, you know.
It's classic.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Ghostbusters remake that's about to happen?
I heard about that. It's going to be like an all-girl cast.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go. I mean...
Something different.
Yeah, the guy who played Egon, I think, he passed away this year, right?
Yeah.
And so that was too bad. And so they're never going to get the old band together again. So might as well change it up. And I think they're dipping into the girls who did the Bridesmaids movie or something.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and those are all great actresses. So I'd be curious to see how it turns out, yeah.
Any messages for this last generation of musicians and people doing stuff?
Just keep doing it. I mean, the industry's changing, but the new ones, the kids coming up, and you know, it's never been harder and easier to make a record. You know, you can make a record in your bedroom now, but so can a million other people. So, but I think that's upping the game. You know, you're seeing a lot of really, really great artists coming out. Great Quebec and Canadian artists. You got Grimes. You got, you know, Half Moon Run, who are doing great, and a lot of great French talent coming out of Quebec. And so it's giving the opportunity for a lot of people who may have in the past not been able to get a deal, you know, a record deal, to say, you know, F it, I'm going to make my own record anyway. But the business is changing. People aren't buying records nearly as much as they used to, and it's falling. And now people aren't even buying like iTunes as much. It's going to streaming, or like Spotify, but that's not doesn't pay anything. I think Pharrell got like 47 million streams, and he got like $300 or something. And so, you know, it's hard to make money, but it's changing. And I think this new generation, like whoever's
doing music now is like maybe 16 or 17. They're on the cusp of something like it's gonna change, and they're gonna be the next wave of people who are gonna be at the forefront of how the industry or where the industry is going, and they're gonna be able to really understand it and shape it. You know, we're still adjusting because we got one foot in the old system and a foot in the new one, and we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do with it. And it's it's working, but I mean it's hard. It's a lot harder than it used to be.
You still got one foot in classic rock.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. How important is collaboration to be a fully functioning, to be a musician for a living?
It's 100%. That's you have to. No one's ever done it on their own, and collaboration is like sharing of ideas, and you learn a lot. And that's what the idea is anyway. I mean, if you just want to play on your own, then play on your own. But if you want to be a full-fledged musician and play with bands and play with singers and do gigs, I mean, you're always going to be working with someone, even if it's not necessarily collaborating on lyrics or on actual guitar parts. I mean, you're collaborating with a sound. You're feeding off of each other. The drummer is feeding off of the bassist, who's feeding off of, so the whole thing does not exist on your own. It's a unit. It always is. Just like film or anything, you can't. You can have a camera, but you need an actor, and the actor needs a writer, and the writer needs. So it's all collaboration, and that's the best part of it. I think the people who end up doing that are people who crave that. They seek collaboration. Even if they tell themselves that they like working alone, that's part of the work. The other part, when you want to make people hear what you did, I mean, you're collaborating. You're coming up with ideas, and it's really, really fun. It's really motivating.